Prologue. Kayla stood in the hallway, waiting for her big sister to come down the stairs. There was no way she was going to miss Rowan's 16th birthday party, since he had invited her himself. She had asked her mother, and she had said that she was finally old enough to go to one of the famous Holly parties. Kayla had taken great care in dressing for the evening, even doing her makeup extra heavy so that she'd look older than her stupid 13 years, 2 weeks, and 4 days. She was a little shocked at how much she looked like Lori with the war paint on. Lori had her 16th birthday just 2 months ago. She had idolized her older sister for as long as she could remember. Of course, the fondness wasn't mutual. If she had to rate their sisterly relationship, she'd give herself an A for effort, and Lori an F for not even trying. Kayla always felt like she was a burden to Lori. Their older brother Jerry, or JT as they called him, had moved out on his own shortly after graduating last year. It had taken him less than an hour to pack his things and disappear from the family. She had felt a little relieved since JT and their father were always yelling at each other. Not that she didn't like her brother, but she knew he was happier away from their father. Her brother had called when he found a place and a job. She hadn't really had a chance to miss him since he lived only a few miles away above the bookstore in town, and she saw him all the time when she went into town. Her sister was a different story. Their relationship was very strained. Every time Lori had friends over, Kayla was accused of being in the way or doing something to embarrass her and her friends. When Kayla asked to borrow one of Lori's shirts or outfits, Lori would scream and yell at her until their mother would usher Kayla back into her room, telling her that she had plenty of clothing of her own. Of course, that wasn't how it ended when Lori wanted to borrow Kayla's new shirt that she had bought with her babysitting money. Lori had snuck into her room and taken it without her noticing. For almost an entire week, she had thought she had lost it in the dirty laundry. Then she had seen Lori wearing it one night as she was getting ready to go out with Rowan. When she confronted her sister, Lori had informed her that it was hers now, since she had borrowed it over a week ago and Kayla hadn't asked for it back.
1 week is all you get. Then you relinquish your rights to the item.
Relinquish?
She had screamed and gone running to their mother, who had a migraine and waved her off, telling her to fight her own battles. Their father never got involved in fights, unless he did, in which case they were better off slapping on boxing gloves and duking it out. After the argument about the shirt, Lori had jumped in the old beat-up car their father had rebuilt last summer for her and disappeared. The next time she had seen her sister, there had been a large red stain that looked a lot like wine down the front of Kayla's new blouse. Her sister tossed the shirt in the trash, along with all of Kayla's respect. Lori was dating one of the dreamiest boys in town. Everyone knew that Rowan Hawley was going someplace. Not only was he a Hawley, one of Silver Cove's oldest families, but he was almost 6 foot tall and had dirty blonde hair. He was everything she had dreamed she'd someday have in a boyfriend. She had grown up around Rowan, and since he had been dating her sister for almost a year, had spent even more time around him lately. He had proved a better friend than her own sister or brother had on more than one occasion. Part of her knew that there was no way that Rowan would ever think of her as anything more than the annoying little sister of the girl he was dating. Still, her young mind dreamed of the day that he'd look at her as something else. She glanced at herself one more time in the mirror by the front door. Maybe tonight could be that night. She placed more lip gloss on her lips and smiled. She could easily pass for 16. Well, maybe 15 and a half. She was too skinny, and her boobs hadn't quite come in yet,